Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're gonna, kind of go beyond all the AI hype and really get down to the nuts and bolts of using it, in business and economics. And for that, we're gonna be pulling some great insights from this source. It's called Protocolo Integral para la Implementación de Modelos de IA en Administración y Economía. It's a mouthful, I know, but it really lays out a practical roadmap.
It does. And, a lot of times I see people jumping right into AI tools before they even really, think about what problem they're trying to solve.
Yeah.
So this protocol really emphasizes, that measure twice, cut once approach.
Right. It's like trying to bake a cake without even knowing if you want vanilla or chocolate, right? Recipe for disaster. So what's step one on this roadmap?
Well, the source breaks it down into three key areas when it comes to defining the context. First, you have to pinpoint the problem. Are you trying to optimize resources, forecast, some tricky market trends, or maybe improve your financial planning? Each of those requires a different approach.
Makes sense. You wouldn't use the same AI model to predict stock prices as you would to streamline your supply chain.
Exactly. The second area is understanding your environment. What industry are you in? What's the economic climate like?
Yeah.
A tech startup is going to have a very different AI strategy than a traditional bank.
So even if two companies have the same problem, like they both want to personalize customer recommendations, their approach might be totally different based on their industry or even the current economic conditions.
Precisely. And then the third area to consider is your stakeholders. Who will be using this AI? Who else might be affected by its implementation? Managers, analysts, financial teams, all these folks need to be on board.
This is where it gets really interesting. The source talks a lot about data being the fuel for AI. So what kind of data are we talking about here, and how does that differ between businesses?
It's a goldmine, really. There's the financial data that keeps businesses running, your sales figures, costs, cash flow. Then you've got your economic indicators, inflation rates, interest rates, GDP, all the stuff that affects the bigger picture.
So it's like looking at both the micro and macro levels, but wouldn't companies already be using this data? What makes AI different?
That's where internal and external data come in. Internal data tells you how efficient your processes are, how your resources are performing, the kind of stuff you might track internally, but not always connect to the bigger picture. And then there's external data, market reports, social media trends, competitor analysis. AI can help you connect the dots between all of these and find insights you might miss otherwise.
Okay, so I'm starting to see the power here. It's not just about the data itself, but how AI can help us make sense of it all and find those hidden connections.
Right. And speaking of making sense of it all, the next step in the protocol is choosing the right AI tools. You have to understand, which tools are best suited to different tasks. It's like having a whole toolbox. You wouldn't use a hammer to tighten a screw.
So how do we know which AI tool to grab from the toolbox?
Well, you have to think about what you're trying to achieve. If you're looking to forecast future financial performance, you might use something like a regression model or a time series model like ARIMA. These are great for spotting trends and making predictions.
So if a company wants to predict next quarter's sales based on their past performance and economic indicators, these models could give them a pretty good estimate.
Exactly. Or let's say you need to segment your customers or assess risks. That's where machine learning can really shine. Different algorithms can help you categorize data, identify patterns, and even make decisions based on those patterns.
It's fascinating how AI can sort through these huge amounts of data and find patterns that humans might never catch. This could be a game changer for things like targeted marketing or even fraud detection, right?
Absolutely. And then there are tools for optimization and automation, which can streamline processes, maximize your resource use, and even handle things like customer service through chatbots.
So it sounds like AI can tackle a lot of those repetitive tasks that eat up time and resources. So what happens once we've picked our AI tools? Are we good to go?
Not quite. The Protocolo Integral really stresses that implementing an AI model is just the beginning. It's like launching a new product. You would just release it and walk away, right?
Right. You need to make sure it works, integrates well with everything else, and actually delivers what you promised.
Exactly. And that's where the next steps come in. Testing, integration, and vigilance.
Okay, let's break those down. What does this testing phase involve?
First, you've got to validate your model using historical data and see if it produces accurate and reliable results. Then you need to make sure it integrates smoothly with your existing systems, things like ERPs or CRMs. You don't want your shiny new AI tool to clash with the systems you already rely on.
That makes sense. Just because a tool is great in theory doesn't mean it will play nice with the existing tech landscape.
Right. And finally, you need constant vigilance monitoring key performance indicators to make sure your AI model is delivering the results you expect. It's all about catching issues early on and making adjustments as needed.
So it's kind of like tending a garden. You plant the seeds, you nurture them, and you keep a watchful eye out for any pests or weeds that might pop up. But what happens when things go wrong? Or when the garden needs some upgrades?
Well, that brings us to one of the most overlooked aspects of AI implementation, the ongoing evaluation and improvement. The Protocol Integral dedicates a whole section to this, and rightfully so.
All right, so let's dig into that. What are the key things we need to consider when evaluating and improving our AI model?
First, you need to measure the impact. Is the AI actually affecting decision-making? Are you seeing improvements in efficiency or profitability? Is it living up to the hype?
It's not just about whether the AI is technically working, but whether it's making a real difference in the business.
Exactly. Then you need a feedback loop. What are users saying about the AI? What are their pain points? What can you learn and adjust based on their experiences?
Because even the best AI models can benefit from real-world feedback, right?
Absolutely. And finally, documentation is crucial. Keeping a record of your process, from defining the problem to implementing the solution, allows you to iterate and learn from your experiences. It's like keeping a detailed log of your garden, what worked, what didn't, and what you might try differently next season.
Makes sense. But I have to ask, how often do these AI models need checkups or updates? Is it an ongoing process, or are we talking about major overhauls every few years?
That's where things get really interesting. Even seemingly perfect AI models can benefit from regular checkups and updates, just like any other technology. Think of it like software updates on your phone. Sometimes they're small tweaks and sometimes they're major upgrades. The key is to stay on top of it.
So implementing AI is more like a journey than a destination. It's a process of continuous learning, adaptation, and improvement.
Exactly. It's about being willing to ask tough questions, experiment, and learn from both your successes and your failures. And with that, I think it's time for us to take a quick break. Join us for part 2, where we'll explore some fascinating real-world examples of AI in action across various industries.
Welcome back. We've, laid out this roadmap for AI implementation, but I'm really curious, how this all plays out in the real world?
Right, let's get down to brass tacks.
Hmm.
One of the most dramatic examples is in the financial sector, specifically algorithmic trading.
Yes, where computers are making trades at warp speed. But isn't that a little bit risky?
It's definitely high stakes. These algorithms analyze like mountains of data, stock prices, news, economic indicators, and they execute trades, in fractions of a second, often way faster than any human could.
So it's not just about speed, it's about this processing power that we just can't match.
Exactly. And that processing power allows them to spot patterns and opportunities that humans might completely miss, which can lead to potentially more profitable trades.
I can see how that would be super attractive to investors. But what about industries, outside of Wall Street? Where else is AI making a big splash?
Retail is another great example. AI is being used to, personalize shopping experiences, optimize pricing, and manage inventory.
I've definitely seen those personalized recommendations online. Sometimes they're spot on, other times not so much.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with AI. It's constantly learning and refining its approach. But when it works,
Yeah.
it can create a very tailored shopping experience.
What about pricing? I know that's a huge factor for retailers.
Well, AI can analyze consumer behavior, competitor pricing, market trends, all to help retailers find that sweet spot that maximizes profits while still being attractive to customers.
So no more relying on gut feeling or guesswork.
Well, human expertise still matters, but AI can provide incredibly valuable insights to help inform those decisions.
What about inventory management? That seems like that would be a perfect fit for AI.
Absolutely. AI can forecast demand, optimize stock levels, even predict potential supply chain disruptions.
That could be a game changer for businesses, especially with all the supply chain challenges we've seen in recent years. It seems like AI is all about efficiency and optimization.
It certainly excels in those areas, but let's not forget about, innovation as well. AI is also driving the creation of entirely new products and services.
Ooh, give me some examples. Where are we seeing this innovation taking place?
Healthcare is a prime example. AI is being used to analyze medical images, identify potential disease outbreaks, personalize treatment plans, and even accelerate drug discovery.
Wow, those are some really high-impact applications. It's pretty amazing to think that AI could help us diagnose diseases earlier and develop more effective treatments.
It's truly revolutionizing the field. And it's not just limited to high-tech solutions. AI is also being used to improve uh, administrative tasks in healthcare, like scheduling appointments, managing patient records, and even answering basic questions from patients.
So it's streamlining the healthcare system from top to bottom. But with all of this incredible potential, there must be some challenges, right?
Absolutely. One of the biggest challenges is ensuring that that AI is used responsibly and ethically. We need to be mindful of potential biases in the data used to train these AI models, as well as the potential impact of AI on jobs and the workforce.
Those are some critical considerations. It seems like we need to have really open and honest conversations about the potential downsides of AI, even as we celebrate its amazing capabilities.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that's where the protocol integral really shines. It encourages us to think holistically about AI implementation, considering not just the technical aspects, but also the ethical, social, and economic implications.
So it's about finding that balance between, innovation and responsibility.
Precisely. We need to ensure that AI is developed and used in a way that benefits society as a whole, not just a select few.
I'm curious to hear more about how this protocol addresses those ethical concerns.
Well, one key aspect is transparency. The protocol emphasizes the importance of understanding how AI models arrive at their conclusions, so we can identify and mitigate potential biases.
That makes sense. If we're going to trust AI to make important decisions, we need to be able to understand its reasoning.
Absolutely. And the protocol also stresses the need for ongoing monitoring and evaluation of AI systems to ensure that they're performing as intended and that any unintended consequences are addressed quickly.
It sounds like a lot of responsibility. Who's ultimately accountable for ensuring that AI is used ethically? Is it the developers, the companies implementing it, or policymakers?
That's a great question. And it's one that's still being debated. The protocol interval suggests that it's a shared responsibility requiring collaboration between technologists, business leaders, policymakers, and the public.
It seems like we need a multi-pronged approach to ensure that AI is used for good.
Exactly. And this collaborative approach also applies to addressing the potential impact of AI on jobs in the workforce.
You mentioned that earlier. What are some of the concerns in that area?
One concern is that AI will automate away jobs, leading to unemployment and economic hardship for a lot of people.
That's a valid fear. We've already seen automation displace workers in certain industries.
Right. But the Protocolo Integral encourages us to view AI not as a job killer, but rather as a tool that can augment human capabilities and create new opportunities.
So it's about reskilling and adapting to a changing job market.
Exactly. AI can free up human workers from tedious or repetitive tasks, allowing them to focus on higher value activities that require uh, creativity, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence.
That's a hopeful perspective. It suggests that AI could actually lead to more fulfilling and meaningful work for humans.
Precisely. And the Protocol Integral highlights the importance of investing in education and training programs that equip people with the skills they need to thrive in an AI-powered economy.
So it's not just about developing the technology, but also about preparing people for the changes it will bring.
Absolutely. We need to ensure that the benefits of AI are shared widely and that no one is left behind.
This has been a fascinating discussion. We've covered a lot of ground from the practical applications of AI to the ethical considerations and the potential impact on the workforce. But before we wrap up, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the overall significance of this protocol integral. Why is it so important in the context of AI development and implementation?
That's a great question. I think the Protocolo Integral is significant for a few reasons. First, it provides this comprehensive and practical framework for thinking about AI implementation in a holistic way, considering not just the technical aspects, but also the ethical, social, and economic implications.
So it's like a roadmap for navigating this complex world of AI.
Exactly. Second, it emphasizes the importance of collaboration and dialogue between stakeholders, including technologists, business leaders, policymakers, and the public.
This idea of shared responsibility really resonates with me. It's not just up to the tech experts to figure out how to use AI ethically.
Right. And third, the Protocolo Integral acknowledges that AI is a constantly evolving field, and that our understanding of its potential benefits and risks will continue to grow over time. It encourages a flexible and adaptive approach to AI implementation, one that's constantly learning and evolving.
That's reassuring to know that there's a framework in place to guide us as we navigate this uncharted territory. But I have to ask, is this protocol being widely adopted? Are companies and organizations actually using it to inform their AI strategies?
That's an excellent question. And the answer is it's a work in progress. The Protocolo Integral is relatively new, and it's still gaining traction in the business world. Some organizations are already embracing it as a guide for their AI initiatives, while others are still in the early stages of exploring its potential.
So it's like any new idea or innovation, it takes time to spread and be fully adopted.
Exactly. But I'm optimistic about the future. I believe that as AI continues to play an increasingly important role in our lives, the Protocolo Integral will become an indispensable tool for ensuring that it is used responsibly and for the benefit of all.
I share your optimism. It's been an enlightened conversation. Thank you for sharing your expertise and insights with us.
It's been my pleasure. I always enjoy these deep dives into the world of AI.
We've talked a lot about the potential of AI and the Protocolo Integral as like this guide for responsible implementation. But I'm really curious to hear more about some specific organizations that are putting this into practice. Like what does this look like in the real world?
Absolutely. One industry that's this really embracing AI and trying to do so thoughtfully is healthcare. We touched on this
Yeah.
earlier, but it's worth diving a bit deeper.
Yeah, I'm all ears. What are some of the most exciting developments in AI-powered healthcare?
Well, one area that's seeing a lot of progress is medical imaging. AI algorithms are getting incredibly good at analyzing images, things like X-rays, CT scans, MRIs, to detect these subtle patterns that might be missed by human radiologists.
That's incredible. It seems like AI could play a huge role in early diagnosis and really improving treatment outcomes.
Exactly. Early detection is key for so many diseases, and AI can help us identify those early warning signs with greater accuracy and speed.
Are there any like specific examples of how this is being used in practice?
Yeah, there are a number of hospitals and healthcare systems that are now using AI-powered imaging tools to assist radiologists in diagnosing conditions like cancer, heart disease, and neurological disorders.
It's fascinating to see how AI is being integrated into this like clinical workflow. It's not replacing doctors, but it's kind of augmenting their capabilities and helping them make more informed decisions.
Right, and it's not just about analyzing images. AI is also being used to develop these personalized treatment plans based on a patient's unique genetic makeup, their medical history, and even lifestyle factors.
That's incredible. It seems like AI is moving us closer to this future of truly personalized medicine where treatments are tailored to the individual rather than this like one size fits all approach.
Exactly, and this level of personalization can be incredibly powerful, leading to more effective treatments and fewer side effects.
Yeah, it's truly revolutionary. But I imagine there are also challenges in implementing AI in healthcare, especially given the sensitivity of patient data and the high stakes involved.
You're absolutely right. Data privacy and security are paramount in healthcare, and we need to be incredibly careful about how we use AI and handle patient information.
The Protocolo Integral talks a lot about responsible data use. Are there specific ways that healthcare organizations are applying these principles?
Yes, a lot of healthcare organizations are taking a proactive approach to data governance. They're implementing strict protocols for data anonymization and de-identification and access control.
So it's not just about using AI for good, but also about making sure it's used in a way that protects patient privacy and builds trust.
Exactly, and that trust is essential for patients to feel comfortable embracing these AI-powered healthcare solutions.
This has been such a fascinating look at AI in healthcare, but I know there are so many other industries being transformed by AI as well. What other examples come to mind?
Well, we already touched on retail, but let's shift gears to manufacturing, another sector where AI is having a huge impact.
Yeah, I've heard about things like smart factories and predictive maintenance.
Mhm.
How is AI changing the game in manufacturing?
AI is being used to optimize production processes, improve quality control, and even design more efficient and sustainable manufacturing systems.
So give me an example. How is AI actually being used on the factory floor?
One common application is predictive maintenance. AI algorithms can analyze data from sensors and other equipment to predict when a machine is likely to fail, allowing manufacturers to schedule maintenance proactively and avoid that costly downtime.
That's so valuable. It's like having this crystal ball that can like tell you when a machine needs a tune-up.
Exactly. And this kind of predictive power can extend to other areas of the manufacturing process as well, like optimizing production schedules, managing inventory, even designing new products.
It seems like AI is really helping manufacturers become more efficient, more resilient, and ultimately more competitive.
Absolutely. And it's not just about improving existing processes. AI is also enabling entirely new forms of manufacturing, like 3D printing and additive manufacturing, which are revolutionizing how products are designed and produced.
It's amazing to think about the possibilities, but I imagine there are also, workforce implications as AI-powered automation, takes on more tasks that were traditionally performed by humans.
You're right to raise that point. The potential impact of AI on jobs is a major concern in manufacturing, as in other industries.
So how are manufacturers, addressing this challenge?
Many forward-thinking manufacturers are investing in retraining programs to help their employees develop, new skills that are in demand in an AI-powered workplace.
It's a good reminder that AI is not just about technology, but also about people. We need to ensure that workers are equipped with the knowledge and skills they need to thrive in this changing landscape.
Exactly, and that's where the protocol integral comes back into play. It encourages a human-centered approach to AI implementation,
Mm.
one that prioritizes the well-being of workers and fosters this culture of lifelong learning.
This has been such an incredible journey through the world of AI. We've explored its potential in various industries, discussed the ethical considerations, and highlighted the importance of responsible implementation. Any final thoughts for our listeners as they kind of embark on their own AI adventures?
Well, as we've seen, AI it's a powerful tool with the potential to transform industries, solve really complex problems, and improve our lives in countless ways. But it's really crucial to approach AI with the sense of purpose, responsibility, and a commitment to these ethical principles.
Yeah, the Protocolo Integral provides this really valuable framework for guiding our AI journey, reminding us to consider the human impact, prioritize data privacy, and really foster collaboration between all these different stakeholders.
As we continue to explore the frontiers of AI, let's remember that it's not just about the technology itself, but about how we choose to use it to shape a better future, for everyone.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking those important questions.